Hello everyone. So in the last session we were on the topic Let's March, out of which part 1 was covered by us, right? We saw that there was this person who was Kailash Satyarthi, who worked for the welfare and happiness of children, right? He was giving speech, out of which the part 1 was covered by us. Now let us come to part 2, which is on page number 81. He's saying we can do it. You may ask that what can one person do? I would recall a story of my childhood. Okay, what he's saying, that even one person can do. Okay, he's telling us that one person can also do. So he is telling that you might be thinking, right, कि एक अकेला person, एक अकेला आदमी कैसे कुछ करेगा. So he's telling, I will recall a story of my life and then we will listen, or then we will understand. A heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away, including Lion, the king of the forest. Suddenly, then he saw a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" To the lion's surprise, the bird replied, "I am going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "How can you do it keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant and she said, "I am doing my bit." Okay, so what is the story about? That he's telling that I recalled a story of my childhood, that when I got to know that there was this forest जिसमें आग लग गई थी. Okay, and then he was saying that all of the animals were running here and there to save themselves, and also the lion, who was the king of the forest, right? Mostly क्या होता है, the king is under, किंग एक बोलते हैं ना, द वन हु कीप्स एवरीथिंग अंडर हिमसेल्फ, के उसको ऐसा है कि द पीपल अंडर मी शुड बी हैप्पी, राइट? तो वो खुद कभी भागता नहीं है. ही इज़ द वन हु इज़ रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एवरीथिंग, सो ही मेक श्योर दैट एवरीथिंग इज़ परफेक्ट. बट ओवर हियर द लायन इटसेल्फ वाज रनिंग. सो व्हाट ही सॉ दैट देयर वाज दिस बर्ड जो अपने बीक में, जो अपने चोंच में, बीक उसमें पानी लेके शी वाज एक्सटिंग्विशिंग द फायर. सो ही आस्क्ड दैट हाउ कैन you, being such a tiny bird, would extinguish such a big fire, right? किसी को भी लगेगा ना कि इतना छोटू सा bird इतने बड़े fire को कैसे बुझा पाएगी. तो what she said, see, it is written, the bird was adamant. What do you mean by adamant, student? That she was very sure, that she was very confirmed, and she said that I am doing my bit. Okay, उसने क्या बोला, that I am at least doing my bit. मैं कुछ तो मेरे साइड से कर रही हूँ. This is the moral of the story, student, that you should always try, at least कुछ नहीं तो try something. What usually happens with us is हम लोग goal decide कर लेते हैं, we plan, okay, we dream about it, we plan about it, but the time when it comes to hard work, or the time when it's come to just execute it, we don't do that, right? Mostly it happens with all of us, right? It's not about you guys, sometimes it happens with me as well. We decide something that okay, we'll plan, we'll do this, we'll do that, but the time when it comes to executing, we feel lazy or we just avoid it. So that is what we get to know, that at least try your bit, कि कुछ नहीं तो थोड़ा तो try करो ऐसे. Because what is the moral of the story? See, the bird, being a tiny bird, she was doing her work. अगर ऐसे, if every animal of the forest would have decided that no, this is my part, I will do it, ऐसे अगर सबने decide किया होता तो वो आग बुझ जाती, right? But what happened was everyone was running here and there to save themselves. So if everyone would have thought the same thing, okay, we should try our best. So if everyone would have tried to extinguish that fire, वो आग बुझ जाती. Okay, so this is the moral of the story, that you should always try. Okay, कुछ नहीं तो थोड़ा try करो, try your bit, but try. 18 years ago, millions of individuals marched across the globe and demanded a new international law for the abolition of worst form of child labor. And it has happened. We did it. Millions of individuals did it. What he's saying, that 18 years ago, people marched. Why they marched? Just for the abolition of this worst form of child labor. See, children, ये चाइल्ड लेबर अपन सुनते हैं, बट दिस इज़ वेरी सीरियस इशू, राइट? आपके ही एज के चिल्ड्रंस होते हैं, वे यू गाइज आर एन्जॉइंग सच ब्यूटिफुल लाइफ, you have all the luxuries provided, you have all the material provided to you. At the same time, there are kids which are of your same age, but they are not provided with all of those things. ये सब तो छोड़ो, they are not provided with basic elements. So you should always be helpful, and that is what he's saying. Abolition of worst form of child labor is abolition is to remove this worst kind of child labor which is happening all over the world, and therefore huge laws, international laws were made for the welfare of child. Okay, that every child should get happiness and they should not suffer from this child labor. That is what he's saying, that if every one of us tries their bit across the globe, then we can do anything. Now let us take a बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल, जो अपन SSR केस सुन रहे, सुशांत सिंह राजपूत का केस. एवरी ऑफ हिज फैन इज ट्राइंग फ्रॉम एवरी कॉर्नर टू गेट जस्टिस टू हिम. वी नेवर इमेजिन, राइट, लाइक अ पर्सन, अ एक्टर वुड गेट so much importance. It's been like almost 3 to 4 months out of हम लोग ने वो न्यूज़ सुना है, राइट? बट वॉट इज़ हैपनिंग दैट पीपल, इफ़ दे प्लान दे कैन डू इट, राइट? एंड ये तो लॉकडाउन में ऐसा सिचुएशन है दैट एवरी वन फ्रॉम द होम्स, इतना प्रेशर कभी मीडिया पे आया नहीं, कभी CBI पुलिस पे इतना प्रेशर आया नहीं, बट इस मामले में आया है. वाई? बिकॉज द फैंस आर फोकस्ड इनफ. वो लोग ने डिसाइड करके रखा है दैट वी वांट जस्टिस एंड वी विल डू थिंग्स. सो एक जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल दैट इफ़ you decide to be firm enough, you can do it no matter what, from any part of the world. Okay, next, friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. Okay, now what do you mean by globalization to students? Globalization is basically when we talk about world's economy, but over here globalization, what does it mean? We will see further. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Now, what do you mean by globalization over here? Means कि यहाँ पे क्या बता रहे that every one of us is free, right? That I can stay in another part of country. Any person out there can stay in our country. हम अपना religion वहाँ पे adopt कर सकते हैं, किसी new का adopt कर सकते हैं. मतलब it's basically like we can sell our things in their country, they can sell their products in our country. So that is how we are working, right? That everyone is able to invest in one another country, right? Everyone is able to invest in different countries, they have contacts with different countries, they have trading with different countries, right? So they are saying that we have come up so ahead. पहले के ज़माने तो में फ़ोन हार्डली रहता था, फ़ोन हार्डली मिला, फिर इंटरनेट तो अभी आया. सो उस टाइम मतलब वी हैव कम अ लॉन्ग वे अहेड. ओके, इफ़ बोलो इन केस ऑफ बिजनेस, in case of trading, in case of manufacturing, every form we have come a way ahead. So that's what he's saying, that goods and services is one single market. कि एक ही मार्केट में हम सेल भी करते हैं. like people over here, they sell things to us, also we buy things from different countries, right? So thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. Okay, that there are thousands of flights coming on. एक टाइम में हम मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं, एक टाइम में हम सेल करते हैं, वैसा. But there is one serious disconnect, and that is lack of compassion. What he's saying, that we are coming way ahead in everything, be it manufacturing, globalization, or exploring of goods, sending goods to one another. We have come a long way ahead. But when we talk about compassion, usme we are lacking behind. Now what do you mean by compassion, student? Compassion is pity and concern for those suffering, for another people who are suffering. कि एक दया का जो भाव होता है ना, किसी पे दया आना, उस पे we guys are lacking behind. Let us inculcate and transform this individual's compassion into a global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Okay, what he's saying that globalization तो हम लोग ने बहुत किया है. We are selling products एक दूसरे के country में. We are manufacturing products. But when we talk about compassion, it's only in an individual. आप ये एग्जाम्पल आप आपके फ्रेंड्स के ग्रुप में देख लो. यू हैव अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप ऑफ फ्रेंड्स. ओके, उसमें से सब ऐसे नहीं होते जिनको सब पे दया आए. ओके, व्हेन यू फील बैड फॉर समवन, इफ़ यू एनी एग्जाम्पल लाइक इफ़ यू आर सीइंग समवन हु इज़ नॉट इन अ प्रॉपर कंडीशन ऑन रोड या एनी सच फेजेस, तो आपको दया आती है. बट इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि आपके फ्रेंड्स को आए, राइट? तो दिस कंपैशन वाला जो फीलिंग है, it is always in an individual. So what he is saying that let us bring this compassion feeling together, globalize compassion, के हम क्या करें, compassion को globalize करें, कि पूरा ये individuals जिनको compassion है उन सबको globalize करें. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi said, if we are to teach real peace in this world, that if we want to actually want peace in our country, peace in our world, शांति अगर हमको चाहिए, we shall have to begin with the children. That we should always begin with children because they are the one. Why children? Students, because हम when you एक point होता है, when you grow up ना, you are smart and you think smartly, you will think for your benefit and all of stuffs. But while talking about children, they are the one who are very innocent. उनको पता भी नहीं होता है कि क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है, right? They are very innocent. When we as grown-ups, you know, we discriminate or we do caste and all of those things, but these children, they never do that, you know, because they are innocent. So that is why he used to say that if you want peace, start with children, because उनका मन भी वैसा ही होता है, एक साफ मन बोलते हैं ना, because they don't think of, you know, profit or loss, मेरे अच्छे के लिए है या नहीं. They are not selfish, they are just innocent souls who are very happy doing things they love. I humbly add, let us unite the world through the compassion for our children, See, उन्होंने सब जितने भी वर्ल्ड में चिल्ड्रन है उन्होंने खुद के चिल्ड्रन माने. कौन, किसके बारे में हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं अभी? ये कैलाश सत्यार्थी. व्हाट ही इज सेइंग दैट ऑल ऑफ दीज चिल्ड्रंस, लेट अस वर्क फॉर द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ दीज चिल्ड्रंस. ओके, बिकॉज कैसा होता है ना, यू विल सी इफ़ यू लाइक, यू नो, इफ़ यू सी 2-3 episodes also of Southern India and stuff like that, you will know that all of these children go to so many things. Okay, there are slavery तो अभी नहीं होता है, but there are things where, you know, human trafficking, what else, child abusing, sexual abuse, and all of those things happening on children. This is not the age where they should get to know all of these things, right? And not about age also, ये चीज़ होनी नहीं चाहिए वर्ल्ड में, right? Because every individual has a right to enjoy his childhood, his or her childhood, right? हमारा बचपन एक ऐसी चीज़ होती है जिससे हम आगे बढ़ते, वही एक हमारा फर्स्ट फेज़ ऑफ लाइफ है, राइट? जो एक्सपीरियंस हमने उस फेज़ में किए होते हैं, या जो एक्सपीरियंसेस या जो भी चीज़ हमने उस फेज़ में सीखी होती है, दैट स्टेज विद अस फॉर एवर इन आवर लाइफ. ओके, सो वो एक फेज़ बच्चे का अच्छा होना चाहिए, एंड दैट इज़ वाई ही इज सेइंग दैट लेट अस वर्क फॉर आवर चिल्ड्रन. I ask, whose children are those who teach footballs yet never played with one, right? दो लाइफ होती है. अभी एक यही सिचुएशन में करेंटली देख लो, वी आर इन अ सिचुएशन वेयर वी ऑल वर इन अ लॉकडाउन, राइट? सो देर आर 2 phases. ये आपने सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत बार देखा होगा. वन, जो एक है हम लोग जो अच्छे से घर पे बैठे हैं, वी आर एन्जॉइंग दिस लॉकडाउन, वी वर हैविंग डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ फूड, स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद फैमिली मेम्बर्स, प्लेइंग, यू नो, ऑल ऑफ अस वर क्लोज टुगेदर. फैमिली जब एक साथ थी, वी ऑल वर क्लोज टुगेदर. एट द सेम पॉइंट एक ये हमारी फैमिली हो गई जो एन्जॉय कर रही है. एक साइड ऐसी फैमिलीज़ है जो जिनका इनकम डेली कमाने पे आता था, ओके, दे यूज टू अर्न डेली, एक दिन का काम किया उतना एक दिन का पगार मिलता था। उन लोगों के लाइफ्स का क्या हालत हुआ है? दे आर सफरिंग, राइट, बिकॉज दे डोंट हैव मनी टू अर्न। हाउ विल दे अर्न? हाउ विल दे स्पेंड देयर लाइफ? हाउ वुड दे लिव? सो इन सच सिचुएशन ऑल दोज डेज, एक एक दिन उनका भारी पड़ता था, भारी जाता था। एंड हियर वी वर लाइक एक एक दिन हम एंजॉय करते थे। सो यू नो देर आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स हैपनिंग अराउंड। वैसे ही सेम यहाँ पे है। व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट चाइल्ड अब्यूजिंग एंड ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, वी आर पर्सन, वी आर चिल्ड्रंस हु आर enjoying all the facilities, but at the same time there are people who go through all of these things. Okay, so he's saying that only, that we over here play football, but ये जो फुटबॉल बनाया जिसने है, the one who's manufacturing it, कोई बार क्या होता है, उनके बच्चे लोग ये सारा काम करते हैं। when you go to villages and stuff like that, you like mostly it happens in my village as well, the one who comes as a maid, उनकी बेटियाँ या उनके बेटे छोटे छोटे मेरे एज से या मेरे एज के छोटे मेरे से होते, बट दे वर्क। वाई? बिकॉज दे आर लाइक कि हमें काम करना पड़ता है, वी नीड वर्क, वी हैव टू अर्न। सो सच सिचुएशंस वी सी अराउंड अस, राइट। तो वही वो बोल रहे हैं कि द वन हु मेक फुटबॉल, उनके बच्चे क्या कभी इवन दे हैड प्लेड एवर फुटबॉल? हैव दे एवर प्लेड फुटबॉल? दैट इज़ व्हाट आई मीन ओवर हियर, कि उन्होंने कभी फुटबॉल खेला है क्या? वो बेचारे सिर्फ हमेशा फुटबॉल बनाते रहते हैं। Whose children are there who harvest cocoa yet have never tasted chocolate, right? While making chocolate you need that cocoa powder. So जो लोग वो बनाते हैं, हैव दे एवर टेस्टेड चॉकलेट? द वन हु मेक्स कोको पाउडर, डू दे एवर टेस्ट हाउ चॉकलेट looks like, yeah, how it tastes? So that's what he's saying, that whose children are there who are dying of Ebola. Now we have all heard about coronavirus, we know what it is, how it is spread and stuff like that. ऐसे ही एक ज़माने में there was Ebola करके. What was it? It was like a disease which how it used to happen, like severe bleeding होता था, and then there was organ failure, and if it is on a worst case, then a person may even lead to death. Okay, तो वैसा situation था. So what he is saying, that whose children are there who are dying of Ebola. So there are many children who are dying of these diseases, who are being kidnapped and held hostage. Okay, what do you mean by hostage, student? Hostage is like a person who's caught and then kept in prison, like basically बंदी बनाना जिसको हम बोलते हैं वो. तो कितने सारे लोगों के साथ ऐसा हुआ है. Like there are many people who get kidnapped and then they are being treated not well. So how many people, how many children have gone through all of these things? There are so many of them. He's saying that they are all our children, कि ये सारे कौन है? These are all our children. And ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी और के ऊपर बीत रहा है तो why should we get bothered or why we should show concern? It's not like that. आज उनका दिन है, कल हमारा दिन आएगा. Okay, so we should never have this perspective के उनके ऊपर हो रहा है ना, रहने दो. Never have this perspective. So he's saying that only, that these are our children and we need to take care of them. I remember an 8-year-old girl who rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. Okay, he's saying that 8 years ago he's saying that few years ago I saved this 8-year-old girl who was being rescued from intergenerational is which involves several generations. Okay, like जो एक person जिनके through several generations होते हैं ना वो. So he's saying that he rescued her from stone quarries. Now what do you mean by stone quarries? Where stones are being made of found. Okay, मार्बल हो गया, ग्रेनाइट हो गया, जो जहाँ पे फॉर्म होता है, जहाँ से मिलता है, at that place she was being rescued. Okay, when she was sitting in my car right after her rescue, she asked me, why didn't you not come earlier? Okay, what did she ask? कि आप पहले क्यों नहीं आए मुझे बचाने को? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. Okay, that is saying that children are questioning our inaction. As I said earlier, if we don't, inaction is if you do not act or if you do not behave. ओके. सो ही सेइंग दैट ओनली कि हम अगर इग्नोर करते ना तो ये हो गया इन एक्शन, कि हम कोई एक्शन ले नहीं रहे. तो ही सेइंग दैट चिल्ड्रंस आर नोटिसिंग आर इन एक्शंस एंड वॉचिंग आर एक्शंस, एंड दे आर वॉचिंग कि हम क्या एक्शंस ले रहे हैं टू सेव देम or to make certain laws which help them, so they are watching our inactions, questioning our inactions and watching our actions. We need collective actions with a sense of urgency that this topic is something which cannot be neglected. It is an urgent topic, and then therefore we need collective actions for it. Every single minute matters, every single child matters, every single childhood matters. As I was saying earlier, that childhood matters because that is a very crucial phase for any person. Okay, and कैसा होता है वो फेज में आप the knowledge you get, the behavior, the manners which are inculcate in yourself is something जो आपके आगे के उसमें रिफ्लेक्ट होएगा. ओके, अगर बच्चे को बचपन से ही काम करने बोला है या पढ़ाई नहीं दिया है तो आगे जाके इट बिकम्स डिफ़िकल्ट फॉर देम, राइट? सो दैट इज़ हाउ एवरी चाइल्डहुड मैटर्स, दैट सब every child matter. It's not like कि okay हम आगे देख लेंगे. Every single second matters because child trafficking and stuff like that is very common in India, very common. So therefore every minute matters because every child matters. Therefore I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge this culture of silence and this culture of passivity, this culture of neutrality. Okay, what do you mean by passivity, students? Passivity is no action taken. Okay, he's telling that therefore I challenge this culture who doesn't takes any action. The people who are included के जो okay कुछ नहीं करना, नहीं देखना ही नहीं है, the person who neglects this topic, I would like to challenge those. Okay, pessimism, what do you mean by pessimism, student? It is like the worst happening, कि जो worst happening को ignore कर रहे. Such culture and neutrality, what do you mean by neutrality? is between के जिनको करना भी नहीं है, जिनको नहीं भी करना, the normal ones who are okay with what is happening around. Okay, so such people I would like to challenge them. Okay, coming to part 3, I call upon all the governments, intergovernmental agencies, business, faith leaders, workers, teachers and NGOs and each one of us to put an end to all form of violence against children. Okay, so he's taking help of all of these people who can actually help us. There are governments, there are intergovernmental agencies. What do you mean by intergovernmental agencies? जो उनके अंदर काम करती है वो. Faith leaders, the leaders with whom you can trust, the workers, NGOs is non-governmental agencies, all of those who are working for children. I would like to call them and take action against this form of violence. के ये जो violence हो रहा है बच्चों पर, इसके against to raise a voice, I would like to tell them. Slavery is, as I said, गुलामी, जो अभी तो यहाँ पे it is been banned, but somewhere down the lane छोटे छोटे एरिया में होती रहेगी. तो गुलामी, स्लेवरी, गुलामी इज़ व्हेन अ पर्सन एक समझो कोई लड़का या लड़की को उठा लिया एंड देन उनके अंडर उनको काम करवाते हैं. इतना काम दैट अ child, not a person, a child gives up. Okay, खाना नहीं देते, पीना नहीं देते, पैसा पगार कुछ नहीं देते. That is called gulami. Then it is trafficking. What do you mean by trafficking? Trafficking is when a girl or a person is being sold. Okay, when you tell about child trafficking or female trafficking, it is basically when a girl is being sold to become a prostitute. So all of these things, एक बेचारी बच्ची बचपन में what do they expect? They want a beautiful childhood, they want to spend time with their family members, but they have to go through all of these things. Child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse and illiteracy, these things have no place in any civilized society. Civilized is the one who's well educated, and as a society I don't want people with such thoughts. Child marriages, बच्चे, the age where they have to enjoy their life, they are being held with another person to spend their entire life. Okay, this is not a right thing. Child labor, that जिनका completely उनको पूरा टाइम काम करवाते रहते, be in factories or be in their houses, any sort of thing. Okay, sexual abuse. What do you mean by sexual abuse, students? When a person or a woman, be it any person, like woman, child, labor, man, woman, child, man, anyone who's been sexually forced on, sexual behavior is forced on them, is called as sexual abuse. So all of these things, all of these illiteracy, जहाँ पे पढ़ाई को ज़्यादा importance नहीं दिया होता है, all of these things should be stopped in a civilized society. Friends, we can do this. Government must make child-friendly policies and invest in education and young people. What he's saying, that government should invest in child-friendly policies which work for the welfare of child and invest in education for young people. Business must be more responsible, accountable, and open to innovative partnerships. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. Accelerate is to increase the speed of the action. Okay, all of these things, facilities, and government should work on things which are working for the welfare of the children. Okay, you should make business which creates innovative ideas for all of these children. कि अगर suppose they have been rescued a girl who's of 8 to 10 years, तो उसकी पहले की पढ़ाई हुई नहीं है, उसका mental state बराबर नहीं होता, तो how to help that child, all of those innovative ideas should be brought up. Global civil society must rise high above the business as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders and institutions and all of us must stand with our children. What are they saying? That global civil should come up. Just don't think about their business, but should come up and fragmented agendas. What do you mean by fragmented agendas, students? The meaning is going split up or disunified. That what they are saying, that people should come ahead of their business and think about ideas which will help for the welfare of children. All of them, like leaders हो गए, institute हो गए, government officers हो गए, agencies हो गए, all of them should come together and help us for the welfare of the people. We must be bold in what sense, student? That we should be modern. Okay, we must be ambitious aim होना चाहिए. You should be focused on it, and we must have the will. As I said earlier, we have dream, we plan it, but when we talk about executing it, हम वहाँ पे रुक जाते हैं. Why? Because we don't have a will. Will is like एक इच्छा होनी चाहिए अंदर से कि नहीं, मुझे करना है. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a cobbler boy my age sitting outside the gate of my school. Okay, he's saying that 50 years ago there was this boy who was of my age but who was a cobbler. I asked my teachers, why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? My teachers had no answers. One day I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work." See, this is the situation. What उसने क्या किया, he asked his ma'am, but the ma'am couldn't answer, and then he found courage to ask the father, and what the father said, that we are born to work. Because एक कैसे हो जाता है, when a person is alone who's working and then they don't have money, then they have no option. What they do is they keep their children also for work, so that उनके ज़रिए कुछ पैसा आए वैसा. So he was saying that I don't know that we are meant to work, and that is why we keep working. His answer made me angry. It still makes me angry that this kind of perspective is only wrong. There are people who know that okay, मैं नहीं पढ़ पाया, but I want my children to be educated, and there are these people के they have decided कि नहीं, हमारे क्या बोलते किस्मत में ही है, and they keep telling that. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow. I always had a vision of tomorrow. A vision of that cobbler's boy sitting with me in my classroom. Now that tomorrow has been today, okay? I am today and you are today. Today is a time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. All of these rights, children, are there and are there for us, right? ऐसे ही हर चिल्ड्रन को, हर बच्चे को ये सारी राइट्स होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ दीज राइट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सिंस इट प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल फॉर द चाइल्डहुड, जो हम बोलते हैं ना बचपन, उसके लिए ये सारे राइट्स बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children and the blinking stars. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree and mountains, I see our children growing freely with dignity. Means what? To all the children who he had rescued, he could see their smiles, and वो smile लाना भी बहुत मुश्किल होता है. It is a very difficult task because these children have gone through so many things जो हम, we guys can never imagine also in our life. These children have gone through such rough phases in their life. They have seen things which a child would never wish to see in his life. Okay, they have gone through such phases, and that is why when he see these all children smiling and enjoying their life, he feels very happy. Friends, I want to see and feel this today inside you, that I am happy. I know this feeling, but he's saying I want you all to experience this feeling. My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes, and feel the child inside you. Okay, feel your हम बोलते हम बड़े हो गए, but you know your childhood phase, right? Feel that inside you. I am sure you can. Now listen to that child. Listen please. Today I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther Kings calling on us. Okay, that he's saying that please listen to the child inside you. We always say na, that never let the child inside you get down, that always have that bachpana thing in yourself, but you should know when to use it. So he's saying that I could see all of these great leaders inside you. Let us democratize knowledge, let us universalize justice. What he's saying, that let us democratize knowledge. Democratize is basically democracy, open for all, to you, for you. So he's saying that for the welfare of knowledge मतलब क्या कि democracy मतलब basically क्या कि knowledge should be there for everyone. Every person has a right for knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Justice should be universal, सबके लिए सेम होना चाहिए. Together let us globalize compassion, as he said पहले. ओके, पहले जैसे उन्होंने बोला वैसा ही. I call upon you in this room and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. That all of these things should be exploited, ख़त्म हो जानी चाहिए, and things should be brought to education. I call for a march from poverty to shed prosperity. के हर जो लोग गरीब है वो एटलीस्ट प्रॉस्पर हो लाइफ में. प्रॉस्पर इज टू be happy, to achieve things in their life. And a march from slavery to liberty. Slavery is किसी के अंडर गुलामी में, and liberty is freedom. And a march from violence to peace. के या जहाँ दंगल हो रहा है या वायलेंस, आतंकवादी टाइप्स जो चीज़ें हो रही है वो शांत हो जाए. Let us march from ignorance to awaking the people who are ignoring such things. Let us not do that and awake ourselves that we should know things के ना जाग जाने चाहिए हम लोग के. नहीं भाई, अभी बहुत हो गया, बहुत सारी चीज़ें अवॉइड कर ली, but now we should actually work for these children. And let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from morality to divinity. Let us march from mortality to divinity, and let us march. Okay, Nobel acceptance speech by Kailash Satyarthi. Okay, so this is like a small part, but when you will read his things, like what all he has done for the children, you'll feel very very, what do you say, एक तो एक फीलिंग जो हम लोग ने बोला that you should have this feeling of compassion, वो तो आप में आएगी. Plus you'll get to know that this person has worked so much for the welfare of the children. Okay, so yeah student, that was it for today's homework. Now that was it for today's session. Now coming towards the homework part, you can do name the following of the workshop. You can do sub question 2, where you have to just highlight social issues which were being said in a speech. You can do that. Complete the following diagram, the aim in life. Yeah, you can do sub question 3 as well for your homework, sub question 4 as well. Think and give your own response. Yeah, sub question 5 is definitely something which you guys are doing as homework. Yeah, remaining is the grammar part, which we will do in the grammar session. Yeah, sub question 6 is not a grammar part. Choose the correct option and write in front of the given word to convey the exact meaning. The options are given, you just have to pick them. Yes, you can do this as homework as well. And yeah, the questions besides, like passage के बाजू में जो page पे है, that would be your homework. Fine. So yeah students, that was it for today's session. We'll see you in the next. Till then, bye bye and take care. Bye.